What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. I've got a great 1 month review for you guys today. It is the New Balance Furon version 7 in this beautiful first edition colorway. All right, fam, so talking about the New Balance Furon V7s, this is, full disclosure, the wide variation. It's just the one that fit me the best. So if you fit in the regular version, just take my words with a small grain of salt, just so that they would be the same for you. These thoughts will be the same for you as long as you get the ones that fit you correctly. So we'll throw that one down. These are an exceptional pair of speed boots. I think at the current moment, this is the best speed boot on the market as far as the comfort you're getting, the lightweight that you're getting, the touch on the ball that you're getting, this really, really nice little canopy, they call it, which I think is a funny word to use, but the Hyponate upper is so moldable. Look how soft that is. So moldable, so adaptable. And let's just hop into the attributes about this boot. So let's cover the upper first. So this is a full Hyponate upper. You've got the exposed Hyponate here in the kind of lacing area with this little canopy that goes over the top of that Hyponate upper. When you slide your foot in this, it is such an incredible sensation, as I mentioned before, of how soft. I mean, I am barely touching that, and it is so incredibly soft all around the boot. It really gives you this fantastic one-to-one sensation on the ball. I would say break-in period of time for me took about probably 5 hours to get them like properly broken in, and that's just because they're pretty snug right out of the box. It is definitely a boot, even in the wide fit variation, that I had a little bit of trouble on this outside part, but that's, for me, most boots do that anyway, so it wasn't really a big deal. It was more just like, keep in mind, if you do have really wide feet and you go for the wide variation, you might still need a little bit, couple hours of break-in time before making an opinion about whether or not they're right for you. That's what I would just say. But this upper is so, I mean, like, look at this. I wore these actually just yesterday for a training session. We did a ton of 1v1s, a ton of short, sharp technical stuff here in this indoor pitch. And I will tell you, this is one of the best boots on the market as far as the combination of soft touch, but also barefoot touch. So in some boots like a Speed Flow or a Speed Portal, you get kind of a barefoot touch, but it's almost plasticky in a sense, because it's not enough stretch to the material. But because these have laces on them, and it's a little bit off center, so we'll talk about that in a minute, but it's got a little bit of a mesh liner on the inside that really does a good job in the combination with this Hyponate upper to give you the most seamless, raw sensation. There's no distractions here on the upper. They did a fantastic job of designing this boot for players and individuals who really just want the most seamless speed boot sensation. There's no distractions, no nothing. You put them on your feet and it really does feel like you have a pair of ankle socks on with a fantastic sole plate, which we'll talk about in a minute. Hyponate is fantastic. This new generation is so, so nice. Wraps your foot so well. For me, this upper it's very close, if not similar to the Tequila version 4, which you guys either have already seen or will see the 1 month review as well of that one. This for me is an 8.5 out of 10 upper. This is so nice, so comfortable. It really wraps your foot to the point where you don't have any crevices or any weird bubbling spots on the upper. Oftentimes, you guys have heard in my Phantom GT reviews and in also the break-in video, where because when you do this, there's like creasing that happens here, and there's extra material that bunches up in the kind of the medial side of that foot, right where the toe, right where your toe is. And I will say these do not do that at all. They just do such a nice job of wrapping every little shape and curve of your foot, which is fantastic. And it really does give you confidence when you're on the ball and touching the ball, in that you're not going to have any weird points where you feel almost numb because the material is so bunched up. That's kind of the best way I can describe that. So for me, 8.75 out of 10, unbelievable upper, unbelievable upper. So almost in the top 3 or top 4. Let's talk about the heel area. So this heel took me, I will say, full disclosure, this heel did take me a little bit to break in. That was probably the most frustration I had with this boot. And again, with a grain of salt, these boots are incredible. Frustration literally just means, oh, they're sliding a little bit. I didn't get any blisters. There were no hot spots. I didn't get any extra rubbing. but my heel did slide a little bit in the beginning as my foot sort of, or I guess the boot kind of molded to the shape of my foot. And that's something that you have to think about. For me as a wide-footed player and with a kind of normal but skinnier heel, that's something that often happens in boots, where right at the beginning I'll get a little bit of rubbing in the heel area where my heel will kind of go like this, like rotate back and forth. But now it's perfect. No problems at all. I played yesterday, you know, obviously 1v1s, you do a ton of cutting, ton of short, sharp movements, and had no issues at all. So definitely not something I would worry about one bit. Just be aware that it might take you a couple hours to break in and really get sorted in that heel area, which is fantastic. So heel area for me, I'd say just knock it down a little bit because of the, it's not the most comfortable heel, but it also is really good once you've broken in. So for me, 7.5 out of 10 is my heel rating. Let's talk about lockdown. Now, you'd think with how shallow this lacing system is and the fact that it's over to the side with this little canopy thing, that the lockdown would be kind of like, oh, it's good at first, and then you break it in, and then it gets softer, and then it kind of goes to hell. Not at all. These boots have an awesome amount of lockdown, and however they've designed this canopy to connect with the upper just blows me away. It does such a nice job of locking your foot in place. Honestly, you could probably take the laces out and put more pieces of elastic right there and make a laceless speed boot, like, and it would crush all of this Adidas boots, all of the past Adidas, even though the sole plate I think on the Adidas is better, but if you get what I'm saying, right? So these are just a great amount of lockdown, especially when you tie the laces tight. It really gives you that snug, and this whole piece right here really does come over, and obviously not this extreme, but just as an example, like really does a good job of wrapping your foot through the medial side and into locking it into that lateral side of the foot, so that when you do change directions in lateral or forward and backward, you have no issues at all. This upper does a great job of stretching and molding to your foot, but not overstretching and causing any sort of spillover on the side of this sole plate, which is awesome. So for me, lockdown, definitely, I would say 8.5 out of 10. It's not the craziest. There still is a little bit of slippage, but it's not a big deal at all for me. So 8.5 out of 10. Fantastic work, New Balance, on the way that the upper and the heel and the lockdown kind of all come together. That's awesome. Let's talk about sole plate. So this is the same or a very, very similar sole plate to last year, with you've got 4 chevron studs here in the back, 2, 4, 6 chevron studs moving in the kind of forward direction, and then you've got a reverse chevron stud here in the middle. So pretty standard as far as like layout of studs. It is quite aggressive for a, not aggressive for a speed boot necessarily, but definitely aggressive for most boots, especially if you're going to play on AG. I reckon if you're mostly playing on AG, if you can find the AG variation of these, I think I would. I think playing with conical studs that were a little more well laid out would be cool. The responsiveness of the sole plate is pretty good. It's very nice and rigid through the midfoot, which is awesome, especially for changing directions really quick and accelerating. But I would say it's pretty average as far as snapback goes, and I don't like this sole plate nearly as much as I like the Tequila. If the Tequila sole plate was on here, that might be a pretty crazy boot, I gotta be honest, because it's the same Hyponate upper. It basically feels pretty much the same, but with that like crazy stud pattern that's on the Tequilas, I think that would make for a dangerous football boot. That would be one of the best on the market for sure. This is just a very average speed boot sole plate, but it's good. So for me, we'll give it a 3/4 score. So a 7.5 out of 10 for this sole plate. Very good, but just not quite in that upper echelon with that little extra something that adds, like an Adidas or the Air Zoom or something like that. So that's sole plate. Let's talk about durability a little bit. This little part right here, string has come off. As you can see, it's starting to come off there, but that is because I got cleated like crazy in that spot. And then there's no separation. I'm just checking this now. I don't do any like pre-recording or anything of this because I want to make sure it's as authentic and as like on top of my head as possible. There's no separation on the sole plate, and I have worn these in trainings and in a game. I wore these against Chattanooga a few weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago now, it must have been. But yeah, they are awesome. I loved them. The touch on the ball, I wore them on an AG pitch. They have an AG pitch there in Chattanooga, and these were fantastic. So I had no complaints. It was actually the only game that I didn't wear. I wore Hypervenom 3s for a game, and then I wore these for the Chattanooga game, and then every other game I wore the Battle Pack remakes from Adidas. And I will say these are a close second. No, they're not. They're third place for sure out of those 3 boots, but they definitely stack up to any other speed boot on the market right now. And especially for, let's say, current non-special edition models, this is, in my opinion, the best speed boot is on the market. This is the best speed boot on the market. The Vapors are good. I know that, like, performance-wise, the Vapors are probably, the upper at least, is probably maybe a little bit more snappy. I'm just not really a fan of air zoom, so I think this combination with how soft and amazing this upper feels, it feels way more Hypervenom 3-esque, which is why I love this boot so much. And they're so, I think these are the lightest boots on the market as well. They're so lightweight. I want to say they're right around the 6-ounce mark, maybe even less. Maybe they're like 5.9 ounces or 5.8 ounces. They are so, so good. So definitely would recommend. The durability, again, it's good. It's not amazing, but again, that's just like after 1 month, it's kind of hard to tell. So durability, I'd say 7.5 out of 10, 8 out of 10. We'll give it an 8 out of 10. So good job on durability. I don't presume there's going to be any issues other than the normal wear and tear that comes from playing with an FG variation on an AG pitch. Colorway, man, I tell you, this colorway with the gold and the gold speckle in, I don't know if you can see that in the lighting, but there's like gold speckles in this upper, and it goes throughout the entire upper, gives it, it's black, but it's like a matte black finish with these gold speckles in it, which is so good looking. This to me is, on feet, is a 9 out of 10 football boot. I know that's crazy, but I like the way that you can kind of see the gold in the back of the sole plate with this little detailing, and then the New Balance is really low key. It's not crazy, but these are a 9 out of 10 colorway for me. So exceptional. What other things do we want to talk about? True to size. Definitely go true to size. If you are somebody with really wide feet, I would recommend going with the wide fit variation. If you have an average width foot to a thinner foot compared to, you know, other people in your life, I definitely would recommend just going with the regular fit version. If you wore the wide fit or the standard fit in the previous generation of this, they do have a similar width to them. So these are the wide fit variation, and they fit me really, really well after, you know, I'd say 4 to 6 hours of break, like proper break-in time, to make them feel like I could slip them on anytime and just jump into a game. So I'd say for me, true to size definitely is your best bet. Final thoughts on this boot. For me, not including special editions, so we're not talking about Phantom Ultra, we're not talking about any of the Adidas F50 remakes, we're only talking about the top-end speed boots. So top-end speed boots are Mizuno Morelia Neo 3 Beta, Nike Vapor 15 Elite Air Zoom, Speed Portal Plus or 0.1, insert whatever you want. And what am I forgetting? Oh, Puma Ultra Ultimate, Puma Ultra 1.4. These are the best on the market, at least in my opinion, for the comfort with also giving you a barefoot touch on the ball. And they've got a tiny bit more padding than some of those other speed boots. So if you want the absolute rawest sensation possible, go with one of the Puma boots. But if you want a super seamless barefoot sensation on feet, go with these. They are that good. They are so incredibly comfortable while also giving you really good responsiveness, a fantastic upper, a very good sole plate, and in some really sick colorways. The Raheem Sterling colorway just came out. The new World Cup 2022 colorway just came out, the blue ones, and then they've got now 2 colors of this black, sort of like pseudo black with a little bit of gold or yellow. So no matter what you do, you've got a fantastic colorway to pick from. These are an exceptional pair of football boots. For me, this is an 8.75 football boot out of 10. Very, very good. I'm tempted to say 9 out of 10, but they're not quite a 9 out of 10. These are awesome. Definitely would pick these up if you can. New Balance is crushing it right now. If you're not talking about limited edition releases, my opinion is New Balance is the top dog right now, bar none. There just isn't anything else on the market that compares to this, the Tequila and the 442, as far as value, comfort, durability, touch on the ball, everything. Like there's no BS, there's no crap going on here. It's just a fantastic fitting speed boot. Well done, New Balance. If you like this kind of video and you want more 1 month reviews, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you do have any questions about the New Balance Furon V7s in this new edition, whether it's the special edition or a different colorway, definitely go and comment down below if you have any questions. As always, guys, be awesome, take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.